Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signore, and we are back with Amber Heard's full interview. Part 1 just dropped on the Today Show. Oh, God, guys. And if you're going to watch, why not watch with us? And I'm so happy because it's not just me here. We got Linda back, our own body language expert. Hey, Linda. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, you know, I've already watched it, so I'm adjusted a little bit, but my gosh, what a contradicting mess this Amber Heard is. We're going to break it down. Also, it's Kim. How are you doing, Kim?
I am good. How are you?
How are you guys? Did you watch it yet, or are you watching it with us for the first time?
I have seen it, regrettably.
Well, these randos and all you randos, we're all uniting, and we're going to watch this together. We're going to break down some things I've been noticing more and more since I did the morning video, and thanks you guys for everybody who's watched. But oh my God, Brian over at No System worked overtime for these amazing shirts. I don't even know. I want them all. In fact, thankfully, I get to get them all. I'm pretty lucky. But I love this Rango-themed I Am a Rando shirt. We got that one on the store. This one probably is my favorite, if I'm being honest. It's the Wino Forever tattoo, but now it's Rando Forever. Linda was like, if someone pays me, I will get that tattoo.
I will.
She volunteered it. So if anybody wants to pay Linda, what's your Cash App, Linda?
What's your number, Linda? How much do we got to raise?
How much do you want to get this tattoo on? You can't put it out there to the internet and not live it up.
I honestly don't think that design would be too expensive, but for me and my budget, I will do it though. If somebody is willing to pay me.
What's your budget to do this? What do you want someone to pay you to get that tattoo?
I don't.
$200? $300?
I would think it's under 200.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also like it's paying for the artist and then shipping the artist, and it's also paying you because you're getting it on your body permanently.
If someone pays Linda $400,
I'm gonna say $500.
Agreed. $500. I'll take it. Boom for $500. If one of our donators wants to Cash App Linda $500 during this show, yes, you're gonna go get this tattoo.
I will do it.
Oh my God! And you will show us the evidence afterwards. She will get the Rando Forever tattoo for $500.
I will have someone record it.
What is your Cash App? I need it up right now.
It's a $ Forever Free 2.
Forever Free.
Letter B me.
Forever Free.
Forever to be me.
Forever to be me. This is it. No.
You got to remove the E after the B.
Okay, hold on. Sorry. I'm going to get this right because...
Lita, can you message it to me?
Yeah, send it to me.
I can message it.
I will get the Cash App up because I'm not going to spell this right. And I'll make sure you guys have it. If someone as you should, because Linda deserves it. She's awesome. And she will go get the tattoo. And I want to see that. Plus, we have the Rando. Just hello, my name is Rando. You can get that shirt as well. And then, yes, as promised, Rando 1 and Rando 2 are both available if you want to be Thing 1, Thing 2, but instead be Rando 1 if you're a couple. Joey, I'm looking at you. If you guys want to be dressed up as Rando 1 and Rando 2, you can. And if the Morgans want to, I already texted them. If they email me, I will happily send you free shirts. You could be Rando 1 and Rando 2. What an amazing photo op that would be. Forever. That's how I spelled it wrong. And if somebody wants to Cash App Linda, there it is. Money sign Forever Free to be me. If she makes $500 on this stream, she's gonna go get a tattoo.
I will have no choice but to videotape it.
Oh my God, I want to watch that. Who's paying for it? There it is. My goodness. You can also just scan it on your phone, but some of you are watching your phone, so probably doesn't work. But there you go. Use the Cash App to Linda. Let's see if we can. Linda, keep me posted if anybody sends any money.
Oh my God.
I will.
Because now I'm fascinated to see if she's going to get the tattoo. Our first Popcorn Planet themed tattoo. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad tattoo, I got to say.
Where would you get it, though,
Linda? It's
Linda?
a fun way to sum up the whole trial.
Honestly, on my arm, I already have some. Let me see if I could show it. I have something on my inner arm. So on my other side, I would get it on my other arm.
Oh, there it is. She's going to forever live this up. She's a Rando forever to her love of Johnny in this trial. It is a pretty great design.
Yes, for the trial and for you guys.
Whoa, what an amazing opportunity. All right, I'm going to have to donate to that too. We'll see. All right, but there you go. All the shirts are still up there. So much more coming. We got some more fun designs coming, so stay tuned. And thanks to Brian who worked overnight to get those up. They were great. I already got mine, so stay tuned. I'll wear them. And again, proceeds go to the Tampa Bay Crisis Center. We're actually going to be giving them a check in a week or two. I will film it for you guys, and thank you guys for it. And yes, Joey's like, I am getting my Allison and I, Rando 1 and Rando 2. I can't wait for the photo op, Joey. It's going to be adorable. All right. Well, look who's here. Lewis is here as well. Welcome to the show. Hey. Lewis, Lecca, Nerd Report, just in time, my man, because we're all going to do this together. We are all going to watch this 10-minute Amber interview together. Whoo! Have you watched it all yet, Lewis? Are you a fresh?
Yeah. It's. Oh my god, man. She's like, I didn't know. I don't want to spoil it. Look. Hey, we'll go as we go, man. This woman's ridiculous. She has this look like you're eating in front of a person that hasn't eaten in 2 weeks, and it's like, are you gonna give me some of that? Like the way she looks at the interviewer. Oh my god, she's so bad, dude. The gift that keeps on giving, Amber. Turd. What do you guys think? This is going to be insane to watch it with you all.
Well, let's get into it. And so, Linda, again, Linda, just for people who are tuning in new, you are a behavior. You've done this professionally, behavior analysis and your note taking and stuff in your work. And so, I want you to again to stop us or remind me to pause if there's something specifically you want to point out. Is there anything else before we start that you want to sort of say in general as to what you noticed this time around as she was speaking?
Well, overall with the interview, I think we nailed it yesterday, where we had come to the idea that we figured the interviewer might play a little safe, but she did continue to poke the bear. So I will say that she did ask some questions, and it was worthy to watch and see the reaction.
Yes, it was. There was a lot. So yeah. So here we go. Let's go through it. You did call a lot yesterday, Linda, but here it is.
Since the verdict, as you sit here with me now, has it sunk in? How could it?
We're gonna start and stop a lot. If you haven't watched it, apologies.
Bro, that was already bad.
I'm already like, no, perturbed.
That was already bad. That's like when the director goes, and action.
Can we do that again?
But could you give it more of an emotion, looking down and then moving your eyes to the left and then grin right away? What the hell? Sorry, Andy. This is going to be a pause situation.
It's going to be. That's why I realized I need to warn you in advance. Let's do it one more time.
It's been about...
Take two, Amber. A little intense. Can you try it again?
More than a week since the verdict. As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in? How could it?
How could it? How could it?
Questions.
Yeah, what does that mean when you answer a question with a question, Leanne?
Honestly, I feel what I get from her, because she does this constantly, is that's when she's thinking in her head, okay, what is one of the rehearsed answers and responses that I've planned? Mm-hmm. Does it work with this? She's clearly thinking and giving herself some extra time to answer the question.
It's true. It's like you're preparing. All right, because I've had a few things like that where it's like I've prepared like a speech or things like that. And it's true. You're always taught from a PR standpoint, like when you're doing media interviews or promoting something, like when we did ScreenJunkies Plus. I remember it was always like they might ask you about this, but remember to always bring them back to these points is sort of what you do. A good PR person will prep will tell you. And I get that vibe tremendously. Like exactly. It's like, all right, stall. All right, where do I want to take them to point one right now? Or can I answer this and then take them to point one? You know what I mean? It just feels like she really was trying to figure out where do I go next? Let's see where she went.
Real quick. This is a tactic politicians do. They stall, they talk real slow, and they go like that. They're thinking of what to say. So
it is definitely a stall,
yeah.
Sir.
And who's a better liar than a politician? Amber Heard.
Indeed. All right, let's see where she goes with it.
Surreal and difficult, in part, yes. This has been a long time coming. Do you stand by?
Your loss has been a long time coming. Your reckoning has been a long time coming. There's a lot of stuff, and I may have to do a supercut to this Felicia or Mike are still out there, there's a lot you could. The answer she says could be spit right back at her. It's kind of amazing. I'll point it out as we go.
Your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse.
Of course, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
So, to her dying day, she will continue to come after this man. Is really what I took by that. Yeah.
Yeah.
To my dying day.
Also, I have an issue.
Well, hold on, sir, but to me, that's a message to Johnny. That's like, I'm not going away. I'm not backing down. F you. You're never seeing the end of me. Good luck. Am I crazy in seeing that?
No, it's a softened threat in a way.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not backing down. You're never seeing the end of me, Johnny. I don't care, even if I won, and good luck getting the money. It's just scary. What were you going to say, Lewis?
It bothers me, this next sequence right here, because whoever edited this is reinforcing her what she's trying to express, cutting to Johnny Depp's fandom. That's not part of the interview. You know what I mean? But as you go on this next part right here, Andy.
Yeah, let's watch it. You're talking about the bit that Today put together. Yeah, there's a lot of editing throughout the whole piece. Even Amber's answers are edited. It's frustrating. But here's the
Johnny Depp about abuse.
Of course, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
The real-life drama of the defamation case between Amber Heard and her ex-husband Johnny Depp captivated millions of people around the world.
Amber Heard just got exposed.
Johnny, you hit me.
This is so cringe.
With clips spreading across social media like wildfire.
I think vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. I think that this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok, and the jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible to avoid this.
I mean, that's just so frustrating to me how offensive it is. She's trying to, like, even the most well-intentioned, she's like been coached there. Amber, we can't keep knocking the jury. You can't keep knocking the jury. Well, even the most intentioned jury, how could they avoid it? It's everywhere. So she's calling them liars and that they didn't do their work. I find that offensive that she's saying even a juror's like, I'm going to do my civic duty correct. I'm not reading this news. Do you think that's really impossible, guys?
Well, for her, yeah. Remember, she accuses others what she is. She wore the bee on her ear because she was watching Popcorn Planet make fun of her. Okay, that's the bottom line.
I mean, she's allowed to, Lewis, but I'm talking about the juror. What do you think, Kim? Do you think the juror? I mean, I can't disagree that it's probably impossible for the jurors to not walk by something that had it playing. Like, but do you really think the jurors were there after this long day, watching all the coverage and sort of trying to cheat?
I think the jurors took this very seriously. From all we've heard of people that were inside the courtroom and reading their body language and observing them, they all took this. They did not take this lightly. So I would assume they all probably did try to follow the rules of the court. Now, whether that was 100% possible or not is a different discussion. But I don't think social media was what cost her this. I think she did it all on her own with her own behavior. And I go back to the people who were in the courtroom that said that when she was giving her testimony and she kept, staring at the jury and answering everything, looking at them as opposed to the judge or speaking to the lawyer, and how uncomfortable they all became. And it was said that certain jurors actually changed like the position of their chair and moved it away from her because they didn't want to hear from her anymore because they didn't believe her. And I think if it was just social media, like I don't think people would do that because most people know that social media is social media and TikTok is TikTok and who really cares. But I think stuff like when Camille said to her, you said your nose was broken in this situation. You testified that your nose was broken. And then she shows the photos and backs her into a corner. And then she goes, yeah, well, it felt like my nose was broken. Well, that just kind of completely destroys your credibility as a witness and makes it really hard for anybody to believe anything that comes out of your mouth when you constantly get caught in lies. And then there's the money and everything else and yada, 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 yada. So her being all like, I'm going to stand by every word of my testimony till my dying day. Does that count you saying that your nose broke? Does that count you saying that you donated all the money? Your lies were what undid you, not TikTok.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, and also that Alf shirt is amazing, just for the record.
Thank you.
I did notice. I'll have a sandwich and a cat sandwich and a soda, please. No problem. Anyway, all right, here we go.
People
Thank you, my
online
sister.
It's amazing.
and crowds outside the courthouse made it clear where they stood.
Every single day I passed for 3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying burn the witch, death to Amber. After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand.
Can anyone prove that those signs were there? Did it really say
Well, I
death
have
to
one
Amber?
proof. I have one proof. Didn't her fans give her flowers?
Yeah.
Didn't she have all the support too? Amber, your support.
Well, it was one. There was one flowers and there was one dude with a sign, I think, or maybe two, and another lady. To be fair, she didn't have a lot of support there. It was clear, but I don't understand what that has to do with anything. Yeah, he's a big star. Who cares? That doesn't mean anything. Again, we're talking about what happened in the court.
And saw just a courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans.
I mean, they weren't in pirate attire. How did she know this?
Exaggeration.
So yeah, Linda, what is she doing here?
She's over exaggerating. I mean, like I said yesterday, to some people, this is like, okay, Linda, yeah, she over exaggerated by calling it Captain Sparrow, Jack Sparrow fans. But it's the fact that her words, her choice of words, she is not just saying Johnny Depp fans. She's putting it out there as they are all extreme fans, which was not the case. Yes, there was some people that were fans. Yes, there was a woman that a lot of people noticed that is at every Johnny event. She has labeled herself as the biggest Johnny Depp fan. She was there in trial in the courtroom. But it's just the fact that there was some people there just to actually hear this type of message, stand up for what was right and what was true, and for the whole Men Too movement. So for her to say they were all Johnny Depp fans, extreme Johnny Depp fans, is a little taste of her, over exaggeration.
So many exaggerations, man. Can we start a crowdfunding initiative to get Dr. Curry to break this down for us more specifically? What I would pay.
I got one comment.
I'm on there. Yeah, Lewis, quick before I go there.
Didn't she have somebody testify that after she showed up on a poster with Aquaman, she was the most famous person on par with Gal Gadot? So, yeah, maybe they thought she was a character too, and maybe like her fans were pushing back. What is this? Like, her arguments don't make sense.
Let's hear more of her arguments.
Yeah.
Who were vocal, energized.
Can you put into words how that
was an edit, by the way. They did trim it down, thank God. But I would love to see this raw. To see this raw would be fascinating.
felt?
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through. I have...
Really? Worse than the wine bottle moment? Like, am I crazy? Like...
No.
Like, shouldn't the most humiliating moment be the time of abuse than any of this fans in a courtroom? Like,
it's whatever she's talking about in the moment. That's the most humiliating.
It's
point.
exaggerations to a point where, like, really, her being in the courtroom with Johnny Depp fans and was more humiliating, the worse than the alleged act of abuse. I'm at a loss.
Never felt more removed from my own humanity.
God, chat, am I nuts? Wouldn't the act of abuse be the worst form of removing your humanity? Like, how could you ever compare a trial or whatever to the actual act that you're in the trial for? Again, to me, it's another over-exaggeration of her just never really understanding what a victim would feel like, right? And what the reality of what that would feel like, because she wasn't one, is really how it comes across, and why we're so mad at her and why we talk about her. I'm not trying to make fun of her anymore, but she keeps putting herself out there as this hero, as this victim, and she keeps forgetting her own story and her own trauma. Linda, what are your thoughts?
Well, she should be embarrassed to hear those audio tapes in court of how she treated him, how he wanted to just get some space to breathe, and she just kept on antagonizing him. She should be embarrassed.
I hate speaking for victims, but she's really becoming like the case of like what not to do as a victim is really just like, it's so clear cut of just like, if anything, I hope that helps. Like, I don't know. Like it just,
Well,
go ahead, Kim.
yeah. I mean, I can say one thing. I can't speak for Amber. I don't know her experience, but I can say in my case, when it happened to me, it was so humiliating and horrific that I disconnected completely from my body. You want to talk about losing touch with your humanity? And I'll just leave it like that. That's it.
Let's keep going. And I'm working on I'm going to work on getting Dr. Curry to break this down. It's my new mission because I feel like I need an expert to help really rationalize some of my thoughts because I don't understand how any of this makes sense that she keeps trying to spin.
I felt less than human.
Let's go back to the day of the verdict. Were you feeling confident?
That's a great question.
Stall.
Yeah.
Stall. Let's stall here, right? Linda, what do you think?
Yeah, and look where it just paused. She had a smile. It's like she catches herself every time that she's messing up. Either she's not on script or she's trying to do her improv acting, which she is clearly trained to do. She's just not very good at it. And she loses her track. That's why she doesn't really make sense with a lot of the points that she tries to make, which we will see in a little bit when it comes to the First Amendment.
It's so funny. Yeah, again, the self-correct. She can't help herself from smiling. And honestly, this was a good question. It was a good question. She got caught off guard.
Were you feeling confident?
Were you feeling confident on the day of when the verdict was to come in?
That's a great question.
It's such an easy answer. You know the answer to that question, and you aren't answering it because you're like, well, how do I do this? Okay, it's along the script, because she clearly hates her lawyers. Like, we're going to see that in a minute, guys. She's going to throw them under the bus, too. And it's just very telling the way she pauses and realizes, ooh, how do I answer this honestly? Or do I continue my lies? This is how I got the vibe. Kim, do you get that vibe?
Yeah. Yeah. She's thinking.
She just spent 2 minutes.
She's stalling.
She just spent 2 minutes saying that everyone's on Johnny Depp's side outside. Everyone inside the court's on Johnny Depp's side. Everyone's on Johnny Depp's side. Blah blah blah.
All
and
the
then
randos.
She can't answer if she was confident about the decision. It's like, well, she should say no. She wasn't confident because everyone was on Johnny Depp's side.
I mean, because that's the answer, and she doesn't really want to admit it. But I
wish I could say yes to that. I want to say yes to you, but
a lot of lip biting here.
It wouldn't be true. Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't tell me.
So I do want to go there, Linda. What is this lip biting meaning? Like, to me, this lip biting is very strange.
Well, it's part of her stalling tactic, and she's thinking. And in a way, I feel like let's be real. Everybody that is in a conversation and it's a little awkward, a little uncomfortable, or you're unsure of how you're going to answer. And if you're lying about something, usually a side bite, you're kind of like, I don't know how to answer that. How should I say that? So I just kind of take that vibe as with her side talking that she does with the undertones of sarcasm, that she's possibly preparing herself to lie.
It seems very sus to me. Again, she didn't do that a lot during the trial as much. It's been much more prevalent in these interviews, almost like she's extra nervous.
I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true.
So I'm glad I paused there. So she's admitting, I want to lie to you, but it wouldn't be true, so I can't.
Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't tell me look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation. Do you find that
It's so weird because she's making a whole excuse about, I want to say yes, that I felt, good going on the verdict, but I can't tell you yes. And then she's going to go on this whole tirade about how there wasn't fair representation.
there's been a fair representation? Do you find that Ms.
Depp in a 2018 Washington,
I don't
she
care
was
about
a
all this
public
blah,
figure
blah, blah. Let's get to the interview.
Heard one, just one of came less against Depp, British newspaper that called him a wife beater.
There was another trial, dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in. In fact, my evidence was largely kept out. Really important pieces of evidence kept out.
Lies.
Repetitive.
Complete lies. And repetitive is another sign of what, Landa?
Pretty much her trying to condition viewers, listeners, anyone that will pay attention to her, that she's telling the truth, that her narrative is the only narrative. I hate to come off a little harsh on her, but that's just the truth of the matter. We saw her do this throughout the trial. We have tons of notes of things that she does to be repetitive, to keep in your head. So in that small clip, a lot of people are going to remember, well, there it is. She said it. They kept a lot of the stuff out. They kept it all out. So you could remember that she said that and almost like trick yourself to believe it. So in a way, she's trying to condition you to her narrative.
Done differently, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury.
Some evidence is admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
For some people, they just were frankly
Go ahead, Lou.
disgusting.
You need to
For
react
some
to that, Lewis?
people,
Yeah, listen.
he just had better
all
lawyers.
we were talking about was Johnny's substance abuse and stuff like that. There was a lot of that's the exact tactics she used. She didn't use the real issues, in my opinion, and that's why. I mean, I think this woman that's interviewing her, what's her name? Savannah.
Savannah Guthrie. Yes,
is cringing. Like, look at. I've never seen her interview anyone before, but you could tell by her. I would like Linda to say. I would like to ask her what's Savannah's body language, because it looks like she thinks Amber is full of shit.
I said that because when I watched this morning, I wrote a Post-it note that said, at one time when they showed her asking a question, I don't think we're at it yet. You can kind of see it in her face, like, I'm not buying it.
No. The beginning does feel very puff piece, and that's pretty standard. You want to ease your guest in and make them feel comfortable. But I will give Savannah credit. She did push back. I wish she would push back more, but she did push, and she's going to push as we get future. But you're not wrong, Lewis. Your suspicion's right, and wait as we go, because you'll see it even more.
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
So I just want to. I said it in my other piece. That's a very telling. Do you think his lawyers were better?
Lawyers.
Did he have better lawyers? And her answer is.
Will say his lawyers did certainly.
Wait, hold on.
She's nodding.
Why? This is just such a.
She's physically nodding. Like, yes, I do.
This is so telling.
Need to say it.
She doesn't want to say it, but I was going to say, this is so telling because she's about to admit something here. Watch.
Is admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
Now, she's not only nodding there, but did you catch it? They did a better job at distracting.
Yes.
So what she's actually admitting to is my lawyers weren't as good as distracting you from the truth. Johnny's lawyers were much better at distracting you from the truth. She just said it, and she doesn't even realize it. She does this throughout the whole interview where she's sort of speaking on behalf of trying to justify, well, they cheated better than ours is what it really sort of sounds like to me, because she can't acknowledge it.
Even if you want to do that, though, it's like, they were better at distracting. They were like, here, look at audio tape. Here, look at other evidence. Here. And then over here with Elaine going, here, muffins. And she's surprised.
Oh my God. But I can't even, it's such a tell to me that her answers are trying to like be sneaky. I as someone who was sneaky before, I can spot another sneaky person, you know what I mean? And she's being sneaky in her answer because she's like, and she did it like, if I wanted to leak to the press, I would have done it so much better. Do you remember that moment? It was such a telling where she was very proud and saying out loud that if I wanted to sneak, trust me, I would have snuck it even more. So like, that's not helping your cause, girl. You just acknowledge the fact that, yeah, you're sneaky.
Issues. For some people.
Very vindictive.
Very vindictive, yes.
They just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you.
Now that was bravo. Wells, I'm glad she put it out there. And some of you say, well, that's not fair to Johnny, but no, that's a lot of people feel that way. And and her answer is intriguing.
Can you understand that?
Absolutely. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that
the average person. You're all beneath her. Just make sure you heard the average person. We are above average people. We are above average people.
It is Hollywood brats at their worst.
Yes, probably the truest thing she said.
At points, yes. Yes.
That is the truest thing she's going to say in this whole interview.
But what people don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that.
So what she's at least acknowledging that she was a brat. They are Hollywood brats to an extent. They're all, spoiled and rich, and a lot of people are like, why am I caring about these rich celebrities? Who cares?
You were late for my birthday.
Exactly. But I do care about Johnny because I feel like Johnny was wronged, right? Johnny was actually abused. She wasn't, and she was the real brat of the situation. But one could argue any celebrity is really sort of a brat. It's like, why are we have to hear about your concerns right now? Go live in your castle. But Johnny obviously was punished, right? Abused by her. But it's fascinating to her finally at least hear her admit it, right?
This is
But it's bigger than that, guys. It's bigger than just that.
This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
But here's the thing.
It's not. I wish they would. I hate this edit because what did she mean there? It's not only about that. Well, what else is it only about? But to Savannah's credit, she's going to push this because it's total bullshit.
About the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation. And that was the issue in the case.
Yeah.
Now, that right there, Linda, is what she does when she's caught. She did it to Camille as well. It's like she accepts that answer and then she's like, yeah, and then I'm going to spin it back to where I want to go. Did any comment about sort of how she reacts when confronted like that?
I don't think she was. I think she tried to prepare herself, and she told herself she could be a little more open in this interview because it's not in trial, it's not in a courtroom. But I don't think she expected that this woman was going to be pushing and poking at the bear the way she did. And she does it in a professional manner to the point where Amber knows she cannot snap back. Yep. She's got to fix it, is what she's telling herself. And the whole freedom of speech, the First Amendment talk, she truly explains to Amber, look, clear as can be, this is what it stands for. You can't do this and continue to argue with me and forget and dismiss the fact that you were doing it in a way that was slandering someone in malicious intent. So I think she was very caught off guard, but she was calm enough to not explode.
Yep. She knew she couldn't explode.
To defamation. And that was the issue in the case.
Yes, exactly. You can't go into, the free speech does not protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire. We get the concept of free speech from the Greeks.
I love this, this free speech lesson from Amber Heard. It's like she read a legal book. I had someone who told a source, I will reveal this, I'm working on it, but apparently Amber's like, I really want to learn astrophysics. Can you give me a book? And she meant it seriously. She thought she was going to read a book on astrophysics and then become an expert in astrophysics. That's for people who met, that's who she thinks she is. She's so high in herself and just delusional. But she's now read a book or read an article about free speech, and now she's become an expert on it.
My understanding of what that means is not just the freedom to speak. It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
What?
she's trying to save herself and it's not working.
I mean, she's spinning on this weird like semantics of it when it's exactly what Savannah already said. You can't lie. Freedom of speech does not cover a lie, and the powerful. It doesn't matter who's powerful or not. Like, you can't. Free speech doesn't cover a lie. And now she's like, yeah, but it's. I got to hear it again. It's speech to power.
Of what that means is not just the freedom to speak. It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
The truth is the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl.
Thank you, Savannah, because it's like,
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
Guys, she spoke the truth to power, and she paid the price. You're losing it, Kim. Can you believe these semantics? It's like Pledge again, right? She's just trying to massage the words and her own confidence to just make. No, you don't understand, Savannah. I spoke truth to power. That's my freedom.
But you got caught in so many lies, so no. I'm just gonna speak truth.
We're just randos. We can't understand this. We're just average randos. How are we gonna know the brilliance that is Amber Heard?
Gaslighting garbage. Just
We're all beneath her, apparently. That's unfortunately her true mindset.
So what basically the Amber Heard lesson here is, guys, if you make something up about someone powerful and they prove you defamatory, you can go cry. See, the power is just covering it up. That's literally that's the excuse. And I've seen this happen in politics a lot. I'm not going to go there, but this is not a tactic I haven't not seen before, but it's like a completely delusional gaslighting, like cult-like behavior to like where there is no wrong. You can do no wrong to me, no matter what you tell me. It's like I could murder someone and I would justify and say, but I was murdering to power. And then somehow you'd keep saying the words over and over again confidently that people go, oh, right, she was. Yeah, fight the power. And then it would spin into whatever delusion that she's trying to say here. Her excuse is, well, no, I couldn't tell the truth. I couldn't speak freely because I went up against the powerful. And what really bugs me about this is, and I'm sorry, Johnny, but Johnny wasn't powerful during this phase. Johnny was literally kicked down to the ground and lost all his juice. And his movies weren't doing as well. Studios were backing out, as we learned. And then he was accused of this. They were kicking him out of franchises. That's why he sued, because his whole career was in the toilet. And so this idea that he was powerful, dude, you had more power than him for a couple years there because of the Me Too movement. They lifted you up. But then the problem was your lies crumbled, and then they were like, what's her name? Roberta Kaplan dipped. She left, Amber. She came back when you won the UK trial to be like, oh, sorry, I guess we were right. And then she was, removed from Time's Up altogether because she was corrupt. The House of Cards fell. You had the power. He didn't have any power. So I get so frustrated by this, again, spin that Johnny may have it now because he proved his innocence against your lies, which was an incredibly hard thing for him to do. He was up against the wall. That was an uphill battle for Johnny to prove. And he managed to do it because your mountains of evidence were bullshit. And that's why it's all mad. But I'm so sick of her gaslighting. I guess, yeah, this is gaslighting. She was powerful, guys. I never stood a shot.
In the closing arguments, the Depp lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
Wait, hold on.
What in the world?
Hold on a second. He doesn't?
No, hang on. I want a poll.
I thought he did.
A poll right now for everyone that saw Edward Scissorhands. Did you believe that Johnny Depp had scissor fingers?
No, I thought he was wearing gloves. I thought he was wearing gloves.
I want the poll.
Were those really his fingers, or those like this? Thought they were like gloves that got morphed onto his hands? Were his fingers really his scissors? Because this is news to me. You just blew my mind. Did I not realize that his fingers were actually scissors? I thought he was like morphed in, and his hands became. What are we talking about? What? Go ahead, Linda. What are your thoughts here?
I don't even know where to start. I'm just like, I mean, why does she do that? Why does she ruin all her answers with the most random little sound bites? Like,
because she prepared it, don't you think? That was clearly a line that she said into Elaine or somebody in the room with someone who had scissors for fingers.
In that type of way, I feel like that was a little glimpse of the true Amber being sarcastic. In other words, when the camera's off, and like say we were at court or something, this is all speculation, did not happen as far as I know. But if the cameras went off and she saw Johnny and she just like was livid, she probably would say something nasty to the point where she is known, we heard it in audio tapes, to belittle him using his characters that he's played in movies. So I think this was a little slip up of her true personality, being sarcastic. Because yes, we think it's funny, but I mean, even when she was talking about just before, she said with the First Amendment and the laws, where she was like, we learned it from the Greeks. Like, she says the most random things in there because I feel like she prepares herself to be like, I'm going to put a fact in there or something fun to know in there because I'm so smart. She truly blows my mind. She truly blows my mind how she cycles certain thoughts in her head. And I really don't like to say this, and I don't want to be so extremely negative towards her, but her little behaviors and her little tells make me lead to believe that she does have narcissistic tendencies and traits. Mm-hmm. She just won't let go of the failed marriage, the perks of being Johnny Depp's wife. But when she was married to him, she belittled him. We heard the audio tapes. So for her to sit there and just continue and have these little sarcastic undertones, I just feel like all of us can be investigators and see right through it.
Can I just say, I think my favorite part of this whole thing is I feel like she's gone on at this point about how unfair social media has been to her and how humiliating it's been to be memed. And then she goes and says something like that.
Yeah, she
like,
sets herself up.
I think people aren't going to be like clipping that, and it's going to be on TikTok, and it's going to be on like meme compilations. Like, it's going to be a thing, and she has to know that.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
So weird. It's such a weird line. I still am like, dude, it was called Scissor Hands. That's Scissor Fingers, you weirdo. Like, you really were married to Johnny Depp? You don't even know which fucking movies he was in?
For the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers?
I mean, it wasn't called Edward Scissorfingers, girl. And I'm still confused. I thought the scissors were just part of his hands, and he couldn't get his fingers out. I figured he had like nubby figures in there that just like were right. Well, they weren't like.
Did everyone believe that Vincent Price is his father as well? Like, how far down this rabbit hole are we gonna go?
I mean. How do you not say if she, I mean, all she had to do was I would have forgiven if she'd be like, people who thought he had scissors for hands, and I would have been like, all right, she at least got the name right. But Jesus, go ahead, Lewis.
This is so similar to that beefcake that testified Dr. Smeagol. He what's it called? He actually believed Johnny Depp was Captain Jack Sparrow, and he diagnosed him like that. So maybe that's who she's talking about. Spiegel, the beefcake.
God, dude, so many weird tangents today from Lewis.
I love it.
Gotta love it. Support Cash App Nerd Report for Lewis's.
Send me one
rando Lewis's rando comments.
The mainstream media hates when we make $1, so send us all $1.
Send all the dollars to Nerd Report.
All the dollars.
We're still waiting. Anybody send your Cash App yet, Linda? Are you getting a tattoo yet?
I'm checking it right now.
Let us know. Here we go.
Checking.
So let's see.
Oh my God! You better have gotten something. I'll be disappointed in this crowd. I'll have to do it.
We are literally up to.
Oh my gosh!
Sorry, my phone is really old, really slow. We are up to.
If we get Linda to
155.
Whoa! Oh my gosh! Yes,
so first
we're
off,
close.
thank you guys so much. I'm serious. I will do it.
If we get her to 500 on the Cash App today, she's gonna get the tattoo from our shirt. We're for real. She's gonna get Rando Forever tattooed. So there you go. Let's see if this happens.
Sorry, Mom.
All right, fingers crossed. We still got time. All right, here we go. And for those who are wondering, how do you Cash App her? Oh, it's here. Forever free, number 2, letter B, me. I'll paste it there. All right, let's keep watching.
I'm the performer. I had listened to weeks of testimony insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress. So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The Depp team argued.
I love that spin too. Amber, no one said you were a good actress. Let's be clear. Sorry to be so blunt. We said you gave a performance of your lifetime. You are implying we meant a amazing, good performance of your lifetime, when in reality it was the opposite. You gave the performance that failed to deliver because it was one of the worst performances we've seen because we didn't buy it. So this idea that she keeps trying to say, well, they clearly, how can I be both?
I'm the performer. I had listened to weeks of testimony.
Yeah, you are a performer. Are you denying you were Mira in Aquaman? I'm so confused.
Yeah, she's
insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress.
But you're still an actress, girl. Like, what do you can't even, she's so dim. She thinks she's so smart, but she didn't even answer the question. Yeah, being an actress doesn't mean you're always a good actress.
So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The Depp.
There's her sarcasm.
And again, something Savannah could have been, well, Amber, they're not saying you were a good actress. They're saying you're an actress. So are you not an actress now? Are you telling me that you aren't a performer? This is news to me. If somebody was really on top of their game in one of these free-form interviews, you really could get her off kilter if you actually pay attention and listen to her answers, because she doesn't answer. And then you got to really keep hammering, well, that's not what I asked. So are you performer? You're not a performer anymore, Amber? Are you giving up acting? Well, no, well, that's what they're saying. You gave a performance. It's not about how good or bad you were in the performance.
Team argued.
And you said, sorry, it's something, Linda, what?
Oh, I was just saying, there's another example of her sarcasm.
Right.
It's a sneak little peek, but we all know if you're on camera for an interview, you're going to try to act your best. But that was just a little sneak peek of what she's like off camera. Just very, very laid out, very soft undertoned.
Yeah, this idea that she's not doing an act right now is infuriating me. Of course you're doing an act right now. This is all performance for PR, for everything.
I'm a terrible actress.
Yes, that's true also. should we soundbite that one?
Yeah.
Somebody want to clip that?
It's truth.
The first comment we have all day.
I'm a terrible actress.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all
Please
agree.
clip that one.
So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The Depp team argued that you were the abuser, that you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it.
I never had to instigate. Did you hear the had? I never had to instigate it. I just did it. Just did it because it came naturally. Never had to.
When you're living in violence.
This is now trigger warning. It gets really disturbing here, her justifications to the audio tape. So I just do want to put a friendly warning out.
And it becomes normal, as I testified to. You have to adapt. You say
That's literally what Johnny said. Like, that was the whole reason Johnny was saying certain things. She's now just cribbed that and is throwing it. In fact, that's why they were using gaslighting and all these terms that Elaine, everybody was using trial, were literally the things she was doing to Johnny that she tried to spin off, even though we had no evidence of Johnny doing any of those things. And we had all the audio of Amber doing those things to him. She tried to spin it that way.
We're responding, but
and now, Lewis, you just watch. Now, everybody, Lewis included, start watching Savannah do the turn, because now the turn is slowly starting to come.
There is evidence. There are tapes in which you acknowledge hitting. There are tapes in which you say, "I started the fight."
I know much has been made of these audio tapes. They were first leaked online after being edited.
Okay, well, not in the trial. So nice spin that she's now trying to say, well, they were leaked online, like your TMZ tip, like the TMZ stuff you leaked. Okay, so, but she's trying to be like, see, guys, don't believe it because they were leaked. Who cares? They exist and they're real. Oh, well, they were edited, not in the court. We listened to them, and you can listen to unedited tapes anywhere. We've all listened to the unedited tapes, Amber. So again, right, little tricks, Linda, that she's doing there to try to like cushion these so much said about these tapes, all deflection and defense mechanisms, right?
Yep. Oh yeah. She tries to just circle it back into her narrative, and she does a lot of wordplay of I'm trying to think of the right way to put it, but she likes to get the last word in. So she tries to make an impact with certain things.
Yeah, she really does.
What you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It was evidence of a negotiation of how to talk about that with your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that says, he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. I mean, this is in black and white. I understand context. But you're testifying, you're telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
As I testified on the stand about this, is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it.
But then there are other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, oh, tell the world, Johnny Depp, I, a man, am a victim of domestic violence.
20-second clips or the transcripts of them are not representative of even the 2 hours or the 3 hours that those clips are excerpt from.
Could your side have just put the whole 3 hours in then?
I'm not a lawyer. As I testified to, I was talking in those recordings as a person in extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress.
He says he never hit you. Never. Is that a lie?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Like Rocky Paddington, like Io Tillett, right? Like who else, guys? Everyone on Amber's side that basically Whitney, all these people that filed in rank because you demanded them to. I mean,
notice she's talking out of the side again too.
I'm confused. All the people close to you did the same thing and perjured themselves. No, we can throw it right back at your face. You had people that were following the rank. They were literally. What was the tape again, Johnny? They were going to evict us. We had 21 days. They told me I had to do it. Otherwise, they'd evict us, Johnny. Like, she forgets that. What is the context I'm missing, Amber, when you're crying to Johnny saying that you only did all that because you're worried about getting evicted? Well, for you and all your friends. Huh. Motivation, it seems, to make sure you kept getting money coming in. All this stuff doesn't matter to Amber, right? It's all nonsense. And we went back. I don't want to gloss over
an extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress.
He said
this whole excuse she's trying to say of, well, the things I'm saying on the tape are not real because I was just saying them to humor Johnny from hitting me. I'm sorry. That really pisses me off because I've listened to the tapes. And the only one who refuses to back down is you. Mm-hmm. Like, and honestly, the one that always hits me the most is the one where she won't leave. Like, she won't let him leave. It is the most. We have the ones about the kid. There's a lot of mean stuff towards Johnny, but to me, the most telling one. I'm curious. I'm gonna go to each of you too, but the most telling one is where Johnny's literally trying to leave and exit, and has to spend 2-3 hours on that tape, just dealing with her, and then her going, "I'm gonna kill myself because you're leave." Like, it's scary shit. And throughout the whole time, Johnny pretty much keeps his cool. There's a few moments where he's like, you won't let me leave, like, all justified. There's no moment in that tape where I feel like Johnny is a monster or the abuser or hiding himself. Amber is exposed in her emotional spiral because, and again, her excuse was he was going to go use again. No proof of that. Just complete speculation on her part. And he's going to see his daughter, and she's emotionally manipulating him in that car and abusing him mentally by saying, "You're killing me, Johnny. You're so mean. Why are you being such a bully?" There's no context I need in that. It is It is hard to listen to. She will not let him leave. That is the real Amber Heard. And then you realize, my God, can you imagine every single fight where that was happening? I'm sure Johnny lost it a few times. And I wouldn't have blamed him for screaming at her, saying the see you next Tuesday word. All this stuff that she keeps trying to say was so vicious. She won't take any accountability for the things that she did do that we actually heard and caught on tape. Now it's a 60-second part and it's edited and it's leaked and you don't know the full context. I want to go each around you. How frustrating. Kim, I'm coming to you first. How frustrating is it to hear her just sit here and just spin this? Like, you guys don't have the context. I had to lie to save my life. How frustrating is this?
Incredibly, because I feel like they could have fought for, if she really believes that this was taken out of context, that we don't have the full context, all of these tapes, knowing that when the jury goes into deliberation, that they can only take their notes and they can only take pieces that have been put into evidence, i.e. the tapes. So they can't rewatch a deposition or any witness statements, but they can pull up those tapes. Why they wouldn't have spent more time disputing them and trying to explain context and trying to dispel that and take the power away from those tapes, which I don't feel like they did. So if we have no context and you had an entire trial to fight for context on them and you didn't, and now you're sitting here going, well, you didn't have context, so you don't know the whole story. It's like, well, again, you had an opportunity. You go on about the mountains of evidence that, didn't get entered into the court, but you wouldn't discredit the evidence that was in there against you.
Yeah, it's and the other thing that's interesting is, you know who had the context full, Kim? Social media. Hence why social media was so angry and vicious, because they weren't missing the context that the court was, because we heard it all. It was easy for us to get the unedited parts. In fact, you go to the court and actually listen to them. Every piece was then put in for us to be able to hear, just like the jury. And there were other tapes that didn't get into the jury that we, like Australia tape, which is incredibly telling. That really gave us all context and might justify why social media was angry at her. No, Linda, what do you think?
With this whole thing, it's just clear as day that she continues to be careful with her responses, where she tries to downplay her actions in the relationship clearly, never taking full ownership or responsibility. I will lay off on that part because there is a part coming up that I'm sure we're going to go deep into. But for most of us, I think that came into this whole situation prior to the trial to see what was really the story. I think a lot of people naturally thought it was like, yeah, maybe it is the age. Maybe she's got some immaturity. We were all like that when we were teenagers or something. But the more we learn about it, the more she presents herself and responds to these things, especially after the trial, it's clear as day that this woman, it's not just an immaturity thing. She does have some issues. I do strongly believe what they said about the separation anxiety. I do think she has that problem. This woman clearly can handle an interview. She might not answer very well. I don't, I could be interviewed and not do the best on camera either. But it's the fact that this is a woman that has complete difficulty accepting things. And she will only change her story if it works for her, if it makes her look better. And I will probably leave it at that because I know we're coming up to a few things.
Lewis, go ahead before we get to finish this out. Let's get
she's talking about evidence, right? Evidence that wasn't included. Dude, look, the entire thing, the purpose of this was defamation. Johnny Depp lost gigs because of her op-ed. Period. Mission accomplished. There's no one better informed than the Justice for Johnny Depp movement. Sure, there's a few fanboys, fangirls that are obsessed with the movies, can't tell the difference between the person and the actor. Sure, I'm not one of them, okay? All I remember, 2018, Amber Heard shows up to promote Aquaman at Comic-Con, everyone cheering. Then they surprise the audience of 5,000 plus with Grindelwald, Johnny Depp in character, and everyone in the press area where I was cringed. They were clutching their pearls like, oh my God, what a difficult time. How unthoughtful of Warner Brothers was it to put both of them in the same room because Johnny Depp is a predator. That's the vibe I got. Johnny Depp fixed that. He reversed everything, and the facts are out there. That's it. Mic drop. That's the entire point. People who had all the evidence, like she's talking about, know the truth. They sided with Johnny Depp. Sorry, I was going to side if Amber Heard, if it was opposite and Amber Heard was in the right, I would have been on Amber Heard's side, regardless of how many supporters I would have lost. Period. That's it. I don't know what she's talking about. She's full of caca.
So much caca, as my kids would say.
Distress.
He says he never hit you. He never.
She's not buying it. What do you think of the facial stuff going on with?
Yes, it is.
It's gonna get worse.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in and lie in court?
Because that's a little sass from Savannah there. So they all lined up to lie and perjure themselves in court. That is a big statement to say all of them lied. And again, why we don't believe her and why it's shocking that so many are still backing her up.
I am not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm here to...
But wait a second, guys. Did she not call us randos? Did she not call them paid randos? Sorry, I know we got a little time here and I'm going to do it. I'm a little confused, Amber, because you just said I'm not here to call out these people. Okay, well, let's go back. What was this, yesterday?
Tough questions for Amber.
Heard over 3 weeks.
It's stupid.
Of no.
Where's the original one? My God, these clips.
And let's get one thing out of the way. In my opinion, those are not tough questions. Relax, media.
No, they aren't.
Those are okay, just like okay questions at the most. They're neutral. Neutral questions are now considered tough questions.
I don't care what Amber social media coverage of the White.
I hate all these stupid clips. Just give me the real
I don't care what one thinks of somebody who is.
Polite way to say it.
How could they make a judgment? How could they not come to that conclusion? They had sat in those seats and heard over 3 weeks of nonstop, relentless testimony from paid employees and towards the end of the trial, randos, as I say.
So, I'm not here to call them anything except for basically say they are liars who perjure themselves, who can't stick up for themselves or tell the truth, and just randos who didn't actually know me and are lying.
His witnesses, any names. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as a person who sat there.
I mean, you're caught again. You are a scumbag. You are sitting here saying you're not doing things that you're literally doing in this chair, and it annoys me that today's covering up for it because she just contradicted herself in the interview, and it's gonna get even worse. So here's the biggest contradiction. To Savannah's credit, Savannah's gonna push back.
When I asked his lawyers, "Why do you think you won?" And the answer I got was, because she never took responsibility for anything she did in the marriage.
Finally, we're gonna ask so are you taking any responsibility, any accountability, Amber?
Did do and say horrible, regrettable things throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways.
Like what? What is she referring to, guys? Because now she's suddenly admitting, oh yeah, I did terrible things. I behaved horribly. She said, I behaved horribly. This is the first I'm hearing. Am I crazy? Or is this the first she's actually admitted this out loud? When has she ever admitted this?
There's so much, I have so much regret. I freely and openly and voluntarily talked about what I did. I talked about the horrible language. I talked about being pushed to the extent where I didn't even know the difference between, right and wrong.
What?
When?
When was this?
When?
I'm sorry, it was a long trial. Maybe I missed it. Guys, when on earth did she say this?
I think she's referring to when she said she's not a saint, and then she left it as that.
And that's all she said. She's never, ever, ever taken accountability to my ears. And now she's just like, yeah, I did this all the time. I always, to what? And Savannah, again, frustrates me because she's not as researched on this trial as I wish she was. Because had anybody who really followed him, like, well, like what, Amber? I don't recall you doing that on the stand.
Will always continue to feel like I was a part of this, like I was the other half of this relationship because
Is she having a stroke? Like I would say that she's so like Popeye. What's with the Popeye face, Linda?
I think she's in that difficulty because she didn't expect that to be thrown in her direction.
It's serious discomfort on her face. Again, I'm not trying to be mean. We're analyzing it all, facial everything, but
right and wrong. I will always continue to feel like I was a part of this, like I was the other half of this relationship because I was. And it was ugly.
Seriously though, what is
and
what
could
is
be
with
very
that?
beautiful.
What she's admitting to being to toxic, being ugly, being part of the mutual abuse that some tried to claim, which she's denied up until this point. Is she finally coming clean?
No.
It was very, very toxic. We were awful to each other. You know, I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But I've always told the truth.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't. That's how it ends.
Like that line from Scarface. I always say the truth, even when I lie.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Jeez.
But see, she corrected her whole narrative there because she was being told that the world is not seeing her to believe her because she never took credibility or responsibility or just talked about the exact actions and things that she's done. Like Johnny had admitted to certain things. He's not perfect. No one is. But he went deep into it and he talked about it. She just kept a wall up, which, you know, she's very defensive of herself. And it just is clear as day that she totally switched things up right there because she knew everybody's watching, everyone's listening. This is going to be a million clips on the internet, all over YouTube. And I want them to hear this because maybe it'll work. That's how her mind works.
Kim, I'm coming to you next. I'm going to you, Lewis. But like this whole ending here, and I do want to play it again after I get your comments. But what is she admitting to here? Is this a shock to you?
I feel like it's very much like she's admitting and then she's taking it all back.
Right. Yes.
Right? Because when she did give her testimony, I mean, she was the victim. She didn't do anything. Everything was Johnny. She had no ownership whatsoever in anything. But, you know, I'm no saint. But I always told the truth. Even when we all know through Cross that, no, you did it many times. Proven.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it comes down to, it's straight up gaslighting. Also, I don't understand the mouth thing.
Well, the shout out to Billy Idol.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
It's a Billy Idol mouth.
Oh,
yeah, it's
wow.
Billy Idol.
With the rebel yell.
Yep.
Come on.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah, those lips. Yeah, go for it.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah!
It is. She's totally sorry, hold on. There it is.
Not again.
We're the rebel. I want my white wedding. Hey, Johnny. Wow. That's hard to unsee.
Is she gonna start dressing the role now too?
Look, I'm not. I really am not trying to like. I'm trying to be better than being mean on this. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. But it's hard to not also notice this. Really, she's trying something on her face. There's a massive discomfort, and I haven't seen her do this. We watched her talk a lot, and this side face thing. It's either like she's having a stroke, which then I hope she's okay. I know you guys don't care, but I don't want her to die. Don't wish her death. Please be nice, people. It's either that or there's something she's hiding or covering up in this. She did it a lot throughout the whole interview. And I don't know where that came from. Again, Linda, you're saying that's someone who's just trying harder to say things. Lie.
Yeah, I think honestly it pains her. Some people might think it's far-fetched, but this is the reality. There's people out there like this, where I think it pains her to actually sit down, be polite, and answer questions where she cannot be her true self. Because if she was to be her true self, it would sound a lot like the audio tapes that we've heard. Yeah. And that would not be perceived very well.
Yeah. Lewis, other thoughts?
Yeah, I want to point out the Randos comment because she did something worse that we're overlooking because Randos sounds funny. But she called those people that worked for Johnny Depp. So they work for Johnny Depp. They're getting money. That's a low-key telling people that they're sellouts. Okay? And that's a big deal. A sellout is somebody who will disregard their integrity, their personality, their morals for financial gain. Okay? That is way bigger than the Randos. Something to take note of. She really, that's a real no-no if you ask me. Rando's funny. Sellout is a very bad thing, you know. And I think the reason she makes all these faces is because she's trying to constantly correct her previous lie at the same time realizing she's on national TV.
Yeah, here's also other thoughts. The stroke face is due to the fact that she doesn't believe nor really wants to accept responsibility, but thinks she has to act it. Yeah, it's like this weird like struggling that she's doing with her face that I really feel like she has to act, and she does it. I think as we're really analyzing her, it really does feel like it's like I have to show the emotion without actually feeling it. It's sort of what she seems to be doing here. It's like a confliction of I have to show that I care, but I really don't. But this is my attempt to do it. This is sort of how it feels.
I think it's just and I'm not trying to be mean about it at all. Like if that's the way she talks, that's the way she talks. But it's just we haven't seen her talk like that.
No.
So it's odd.
Wait, Linda, did we make it?
I was just gonna say we do have some breaking news.
Oh my God!
Breaking news and breaking my mama's heart.
Oh, we hit 500!
Yeah!
Oh my goodness! We are gonna now have
I will definitely do it.
A rando forever tattoo. Linda is gonna go do it. Keep donating. Let's see how much she gets in honor of donating for the tattoo. She deserves it. She works her butt off, and she's awesome. And so keep donating to Linda because she's gonna go get that tattoo. So throw her a couple more bucks. Keep the funds coming. Because now she's got to go get a tattoo. And if are we allowed to know where you're at in case we can get a tattoo person by you?
I am actually in Massachusetts, in Berkshire.
Okay, so if there's any tattoo people in Massachusetts that want to be on the video and hook Linda up, hit me up, hit her up, whatever. We'll make it happen because we'll make a video out of this. But oh my God, I'm so excited. I saw a couple other people in the chat like, you know what? I might get that tattoo as well. So
it's
Linda
awesome.
Get it first. Let Linda get it first. But oh my God, I'm so excited. We'll have to please bring your camera. We'll get some a video diary of this. We'll share it in a future live. But oh my gosh, there it is, guys. Thank you for helping Linda out and donating.
Thank you.
Above and beyond. And yeah, let's make sure you get to keep a little of that. And also, I'm so excited to see how this tattoo looks. It's a fun one. This was my favorite of all the Rando shirts. But you guys can get them all. Joey and Allison are gonna be wearing Rando 1 and Rando 2. I can't wait. But here, show to all the people in the know, this will be your way of sort of pushing back to Amber and get your Rando shirts now. Wow, exciting news. Well, we got so much to talk about, but that was the best breakdown we could give of the first hour. I want to go through and dissect even more. If you're watching live, you got nothing to worry about. We're going to keep going. We're also going to read all your comments and talk about some more breaking news. So thank you guys for watching. If you missed it, though, hit the join button, become a member, and you can always catch the replays. Appreciate all you guys. There you have it. Another wonderful show. Oh my God, you don't want to miss the conversation we had about DJ Khaled. Whoo! Another one indeed. Another one on the books. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to watch the full show, always can on the replays. If you're a member, hit the join button, pick a tier, and then you can go back to our members only playlist on the main channel page and check it out. Appreciate you guys so much. Thanks to everybody who showed up. It's Kim, Lewis, Linda, Paige, Vito, and everybody. You guys are awesome. We'll be back tomorrow to cover part 2. Hope to see you guys then. Enjoy your days. Bye, everybody.
Bye.